Hello and welcome to Thursday's video all about your future self. On a Thursday, I want to dedicate some time and space to your big dreams and to remind you what you said you wanted. And this is something that I do all the time with my coaching clients, and I do it with my friends and family as well, with permission, with care and consideration and boundaries, of course. But I want to be that person in your life that reminds you that you're great and that you can do things and that your current circumstances are not a reflection of what you are capable of. And I've certainly found that in my life where sometimes my current reality has felt so far away from where I want to get to. And yet I know that in order to get to that current reality, I've needed to stay in that space of possibility. And that's really challenging at times because our internal dialogue wants to go into that place of like, yeah, but you're not. Yeah, but it's not happening. You can manifest it all you want. You can keep saying your daily affirmations, but nothing's happening. We know that for sure. And I want to, on a Thursday, really give you that space to just make some tiny moves. Yes, if you want to make the big moves, absolutely brilliant. And of course, I absolutely champion them. But sometimes we need to start with where we are right now and make those little shuffles forward and move from that point of view. Here are 5 things that I want you to think about today, or I invite you to think about today. And I would love for you to let me know in the comments what resonated, what you're going to do, what action you're going to take. The first thing that I've realized for me over the summer during this reflection time is it's time to dream a bigger dream. Last year, so September 2023, my youngest started school. And I got it really wrong for me personally. She had a great time. I thought that as soon as she started school, because I'd had this kind of timeline in my head, everything would just fall into place. And I'd be off to the races. I'd be really productive. I'd be doing things. And actually the opposite was true. Lots of the last year, I felt very frozen and stuck and unsure. And I've had to do a lot of decluttering almost and unraveling and really check in with where I am, where I'm going, what I'm doing. And it's almost because as soon as I had that space, that capacity, I then had to look at things. And I think previously for like the 8 years before, I'd just been so busy juggling and doing all of that. And then suddenly when they were both at school, I suddenly had 6 hours a day of silence. And I had to reconnect with my identity, who I was, what I liked, where I was going. And sometimes in that growth stage, you have to look at all those obstacles and those things that are standing in your way that are no longer aligned. And yeah, it's been challenging to say the least, But here's what I really sat with, this great question that I asked my clients of what do I want to be, do, have, and feel? And you can do this as 4 columns on a piece of paper. That's a really great way of visually being able to see it. But asking yourself what you want to be, what you want to have, what you want to do, and what you want to feel. And do you know what I came up with is firstly what I didn't want to do. I didn't just want to buy more stuff. I didn't want to just go and have avocado toast in my local area and take more pictures of it. I know that's a silly thing, but I think sometimes this is what we see online as measures of success. And really tuning in to what my version was. And I invite you to do the same and tune into what your version is. It's so fascinating and so interesting because all this hard work and all of these steps and moves that we're making, we have to know what they're for. We have to know what our version of a good life actually is. And I know for me, it wasn't just about bigger and better and all of these things. It was about so many other things, of time and relaxing my nervous system and space and creativity and presence and not having to worry about money, not feeling like I was hustling and pushing all of the time. And that has been quite a fascinating experience to navigate, because essentially what I've done is I've looked at every process of my life, and yeah, it's been quite the development journey, but so useful. So I guess in a nutshell, going forward and creating these plans for my future self, and also to remind myself that my current self used to be my old self's future self. That is blowing my mind a little bit. You know, back when it was 2019 and I had a son who was 3, and we knew we were having a daughter. We didn't know who she was, obviously. Like I made my 5-year plan, and that 5-year plan is now here. So even though I'm putting this emphasis on future self, I'm not saying that we have to always be thinking more and more and more, because sometimes where you are right now is exactly what you wanted. And there's always that juxtaposition to play in. Number 2, getting into the specifics. I've been using these notebooks, which are in my Friday favorites this week, and really getting into the specifics of what my goals are. And I think it can be so easy to say, I just want to make more money. I want to help more people. I want to feel like the best version of me. And some of my, I'll share with you some of my topics here. I have some business goals. I have a glow up. This is a category. And I also have a best version. I've got some other ones as well, but I can just use these as an example. My business goals, when I'm saying I want to grow my business, when I'm saying that I want to meet these targets, or I want to take my business to the next level, I've really gone into detail as to how I will know when I've reached that. The specifics are really, really key, because if you don't have the specifics, you can feel like you're being pulled in all kinds of different directions. And so it's really important to know what these things mean to you. If you find yourself saying, make more money, or a better relationship with money, how will you know when you've achieved that? What does that look and feel like? Equally with the glow up, one of the things for me was like, book a haircut. I'm going to go and get my eyes tested. That's part of the glow up as well. I'm looking at some supplements. I actually went and had my bloods done a while ago. My vitamin D was really low. Having tablets every day has really helped my energy levels. All those things as part of the glow up as well. But really getting into the nitty gritty is really, really helpful there. Number 3, as part of making those moves towards your future self, I have a running to-do list. So things that I need to action. For example, one of the things that I want to do more of over the next year is travel more with the kids. That's definitely in my plan over the next 5 years, to explore more of the world. I don't feel like I've seen a lot of the world. I've probably seen more than some people, but definitely I never traveled or haven't had a gap year or anything like that. One of those things as part of the running to-do list is like, oh, I need to renew my daughter's passport when it's needed. And equally, I've created, I know it's really boring, but like on our Google Drive, like we have a place where all our important documents go. I've created a little box of travel stuff. So foreign currency, my eye mask, my weighty thing for my suitcase. Those kinds of things are really useful to have as a running to-do list. So each and every day, you are making moves by working through that to-do list. Again, it can be so tempting to say, don't forget to put the bins out, or your child needs such and such for school, or get more pasta because you've run out. I want that running to-do list to really work for you in terms of your goals and your future self as well. Number 4, the ta-da list. Ta-da! I have it open on my desk. I've really started jotting down things that I actually do. Yes, I have my to-do list of things that I'm working through for the day, but this ta-da list has been invaluable because I'm seeing each and every day that compound effect of, oh my goodness, this is happening. Oh, I did this. I'm making moves. The momentum is building. And I think it's so easy to forget about these things or just move on to the next thing. So I remember when my son was really little and money was really tight, was really difficult, like trying to balance childcare costs versus chargeable hours versus living in London. Like it was always an equation, and it felt really tight and difficult, and it's different now. And I noticed the other day, like I took my kids out for lunch and I didn't even think about it. And that felt amazing. And for some people it'd be like, all right, you're just taking your kids to Wagamama's, like what's the big deal? But that would have been a big deal 5 or 6 years ago. And so I wrote it on my to-do list, like, yes, they had that, and they loved it, and it was great. And these sorts of things are really important to recognize. Finally, the metrics, noting the specifics. So running every single day for the past 200 and something days has been so important because I recognize it every single day. Equally, I want to grow my YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed, feel free to do so. I'm noting down what's happening each and every day. This is a really key part. I'm getting better at counting systems and tracking my income, really noticing what I spend on, and getting into the metrics and the specifics can sometimes deter people because they say, well, I'm just not that kind of thinker. I'm not very good with numbers. I'm not very good with Excel spreadsheets. So make the system simple for you. Maybe it's a checklist that you do every single day. Maybe it's just a list that you write of 3 things at the end of the day that you did really well. Anything like that you can build as a habit that you can practice is so useful. Because when you go back over your notebook, you're like, whoa, I've been doing this fantastic habit for the last 9 days. Look at me. Isn't that amazing? And when you get into that groove of noticing the stuff that you're actually doing, you are becoming that future self version. You're not becoming that person who kind of talks about it, who does a little bit and then stops. And remember, we're not doing this perfectly. That is not the aim of the game. And yes, there are some pages of my notebook that look very nice and pristine, and there are other elements that don't. They look scribbly. They would not make sense to anybody else. And so really looking at ways in which I can make this whole process, this progress work for me has been absolutely invaluable. I hope you've got something from today. If you have, leave me a comment, send me a message. If you want to work together, check out my website. There are loads of free resources down below. I would love to help and support you. And if not, come back tomorrow. Come and find out about the other things that I'm going to be talking about. And I'll see you very soon. Lots of love. Bye.